Hello everyone and welcome back to the garden. I do feel like it is about to chuck it down, so hopefully we can get this filmed before the heavens do open. It's been raining all week pretty much, and we've already had huge downpours this morning, but that has meant that I haven't had to water the garden as often, which is always great. You know, not having to use the house water, and rainwater is so much better for the crops. So as you can see, the grass has grown a lot, so I do need to get the mower in here. Unfortunately, we have also had some molehills appear, which I'm a little bit worried about. They did actually originate and start in the grow house and came up underneath my tomato grow bag. Thankfully, they realised that they had hit the bag and tunnelled out, so they haven't done any damage internally, but they're getting a little bit close and I'm getting a little bit worried. Anyway, I thought I would share with you all what has happened since I last gave you all an update, and we shall see what's growing at the minute. So the main thing that's really happening in the garden at the minute is the French beans. These are growing up really well. They have been really badly attacked by slugs, unfortunately, so a little bit late have I come along with the slug gone pellets, sheep wool pellets, and put them around the beans, but hopefully they should do really well, and you know, I've caught it just in time with any luck. I mean, these are looking amazing. I did have a couple of pods on this particular plant, which sadly I didn't get to quick enough, and they did get eaten off, but otherwise I think they are surviving, and I think they will do okay. I think the slug damage, you know, won't get any worse. That I think it's just minimal enough that it will survive. They're looking really good. Obviously these two particular plants here did not survive the slug attack. They were actually the first two that I put in and were obviously the weakest, and my strongest one, well, actually my second strongest one, this one I actually grew in the grow house first and then put it out here, but actually this plant here I planted in the ground, direct planted if you like. That's actually stronger and taller than the other one, which is interesting, but I mean, they are definitely my strongest two. I think it may be too late to put some more beans in, I think. If not, I could always, you know, start a couple more off and replant these particular two. I have also randomly planted two Tom Thumb lettuces in the gap, because I thought we've got a bit of gap here and they're quite quick growing lettuces, and I grew so many in the actual bed itself. I thought, oh, I'll just transplant them and grow them up in here. Unfortunately, this bed does get really weedy and full of grass, which I'm not quite sure how to stop and prevent, because obviously the grass is sort of edged around it and it just grows in, so I'm not sure how to get rid of that. But yes, beans are doing very well. Next, let's talk about the chard and the courgette. So this whole raised bed is doing really, really well, actually. I'm really impressed with how well everything is doing. We seem to have lost the ants. Ant damage hasn't been nowhere near as bad, if at all visible, since I think I got rid of them. I'm not too sure. I mean, I treated all of my raised beds with the ant nemesis, and then I followed it up with the slug nematodes. Whether that had an effect, I'm not sure. If I just got lucky and they moved out, I'm not too sure, but everything is doing really well. So the chard is looking really good. It's getting really tall and thick. I did have one that bolted. I had two that bolted actually. So I pulled them up and I got rid of them. So the rest are doing really well. And the courgettes, that is an interesting story. So I've got one courgette plant, the yellow courgette, that is doing really, really well. We've got a handful of courgettes that are actually visibly growing and are doing really well. I lost the green courgette plant, sadly. I think mildew got it and perhaps something else. So that is actually pretty much died off and I need to pull it up. But sadly I have no green courgettes, only got yellow courgette plants growing. But they're doing really well, so hopefully we shall actually have some courgettes to pick. Next thing to mention would be the tiny little dwarf beans. These are red dwarf that I'm growing. I've got 3 plants here. They actually don't need this support. They're so strong and they're doing really well. Don't seem to have been damaged by anything at the minute, and they are starting to flower, which is very exciting. If you remember, they somehow did get a little bit of slug damage when they were first growing. I think it was slug. I don't know what it was. I mean, I had this pellet around it, so I'm not sure what was attacking it, but it has survived and it's looking really good. And we've still got carrots growing in the tub, hoping to plant some more carrots actually, try and start them off in the grow house, get them big and strong enough to get our last crop in the ground, and hopefully in this tub, so we can have some more carrots later in the year. This whole raised bed is a little bit of a mix match of various things, and I'm not sure if it's a successful bed or not. The only thing that I've successfully really picked and grown from this bed were my lettuce, which I have got some more youngsters coming through, which is very exciting. They seem to be my most successful crop so far and the tastiest, so I thought I would grow as many of those as I could. And enjoy that at least, if nothing else. The carrots I planted in here have leafed up very well and have grown a carrot. However, this wasn't proper good carrot growing ground, so they have grown very stumped and silly, so not very practical for cooking or eating, but they did do something, and they've been nice to fill the bed with their lovely colourful leaves, if nothing else. The courgette is growing very well. I'm not really sort of invested in that plant as much as I have perhaps the other bed, just because I had so many extra courgette plants that I wasn't going to sort of fully invest in all of them, because otherwise I'd been overrun with courgettes. However, it's been nice to add a bit of colour in this bed and see how it got on nonetheless. And the last thing I've got growing in this bed are the sprouts. Still, once again, have absolutely no idea how I grow sprouts, and if this is successful, I'm not sure. I mean, they look healthy, they're tall, they're growing. Whether they're going to produce sprouts, we're yet to find out. Next up is the raspberry bush area and tomato outdoor growing area. So the raspberries have pretty much died off, apart from this plant behind me, and I do have some suckers that I need to get rid of, because this type of raspberry bush is apparently supposed to give a second crop later in the year. There's a squirrel running across the telephone wire. And my tomatoes that I planted outside, straight outside, are doing fantastically. They're flowered up, they're all looking tremendous. I'm really impressed. So I think we're going to hopefully have a really good crop of tomatoes this year. The last thing to discuss, and perhaps my favourite thing, I think, is the tomato plants, which have just really impressed me. I can't believe, I'm so proud of myself for how good they look and how I've successfully grown them to this height. They're just outstanding. As you know, we have 3 different types of tomatoes growing in here. So we have 2 small salad type. We've got Gardener's Delight and Sun Gold. And in the middle here we have Shirley, which is more of a sort of cooking, sort of like your burger tomato. They are looking amazing. They've just been incredible throughout the whole process, right from, you know, planting them as a small young plant right through to fruiting stage. I can't believe how easy they've been to grow and how successful they've been so far. So all 3 plants have got tomatoes growing on them. The Sun Gold did grow really tall, and I know they say you sort of take out the top. but I've got tomatoes at the top, so I feel like it's too far gone for me to have sort of nipped it at the top now. I just hope that it's going to be okay. I mean, it's a really healthy plant. I don't feel like I'm going to have any issues with it. Hopefully it'll be really successful, and I'm just really thrilled with how great it's been to grow these tomato plants this far so far. I suppose the last thing to share with you all would be my pot collection that I have managed to start, and this pot I actually built myself, so this was a really fun little build your own veg trug kit, which was really fun to build. So hopefully I'll get a couple more of them because they're really nice and I love the rustic wooden look. I think you can get different colours and different sizes, so we'll have to get some more of those. I'm not sure what I'm going to grow in this one yet, so let me know what you think I should plant in there. I have got another plant, this blue one here, planter I should say, empty. Got this at the same time as the other one, and I've got B1 as well. Yes, not sure what I'm going to pop in that one as yet, so let me know what else I should add to the garden. And then I've got two little young plants growing there. So I've got the lavender and the Laurentia in this one, the little white flowers, and then I've got some great flowers in this one. I'm not too sure what they're called, so I will let you know. You probably already know, but I'll pop it on the screen because I can't remember what they're called. It's just about to rain, but this is my other pot, the bee pot. That has got a couple of flowers in it as well, but I think they're past flowering, but they're just a nice little addition. And of course my mint plant, which is actually dying off. I'm not too sure what's happened there. It's been watered fine. I even put it in a slightly shadier spot because I thought perhaps it was getting too hot in the sun, but it's wilted, so I'm not sure what happened there. I wanted to share with you all the two things that I'd like to grow next. So firstly, of course, I want to grow some more carrots. So same variety that I've grown before. So it's called this Resistifly Tosresis F1. So I'm going to grow some more of those because they were really successful. They're a nice little stumpy carrot, and I was really happy with them. They were so tasty. And then the other thing I want to try and give another go, perhaps growing in my new veg trug, is some radish, because I was really unsuccessful in growing radish 2 years running. I think this bed was perhaps just the wrong soil type. It wasn't happy. Perhaps I left them too long. So I'm going to try and grow this cherry bell again this year and see how I get on. So that is the full update from the garden, just in the nick of time before the heavens open. Let me know what I should plant in my other trugs. Should I try growing something else? And I will catch up with you in the next episode.